What's going on, YouTube world and YouTube tribe? Welcome back to LilBigMan Gaming, bringing you, well, first, before that Royal Rumble review, I'm bringing you my Smackdown review. I at least wanted to give you that, give you my thoughts going into Royal Rumble, because I got something I want to talk about. But I'm gonna get to that later. But if you haven't heard, it's about a certain superstar. I guess for right now, supposedly. I don't know if it's like it was just. I don't know if this is on a permanent basis, but supposedly this superstar has moved back to SmackDown. But we will get there in a moment when we set to Cena. So, without wasting time, they start off with Charlotte Flair, right? So she comes out and she cuts the promo about the Royal Rumble, about how she's basically she starts off about telling the crowd, Kansas City, about how that she's only gonna be the second time a person brought a championship to Kansas City, saying that Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs won't be able to do it again, but she said, then she tells the crowd, but your guys won't be the only ones heartbroken, because the 29 other women that I'm going to throw over the top rope will also be heartbroken and shattered when she wins the Royal Rumble and go on to be the first. I guess, yeah, they said this will be the first time ever, either the men's or women's, that the champion went into the Rumble, won the Rumble, and then was able to choose, instead of being chosen by the winner of the Rumble, they get to choose who they face at WrestleMania because they won the Rumble. Then she talked about the grueling nature of the Royal Rumble. Then she mentioned something about breaking bones and some stuff like that. This is what brings out Shayna Blazer. And she comes out with some new music, and I'm just like, okay, everybody just getting new music, huh? So she comes out and basically said, you speaking my language. That's the music I like to hear, about breaking bones. And she said that this time, if it comes down to her and Charlotte, she's going to beat Charlotte this time, and she told her she's not going to waste time and automatically choose Charlotte to be the champion she go against when she wins the Royal Rumble. Then who else? Then I was trying to see. It was Aaliyah. It was like I was so confused, but yeah. Then Aaliyah comes out and basically she's so chipper about her first match at the Royal Rumble, and then being able to compete in the Royal Rumble match and being able to win it. But Charlotte was like, oh yeah, you have zero chance of winning the Royal Rumble and or going to WrestleMania. But she talks about, she got like a shirt that says Aaliyah 317, and almost like homage to Austin 316. It was even in the same color scheme as Austin 316. But if Aaliyah 317 is supposed to be like how many seconds she beat Natalia for setting the record. She would get interrupted by Natalia, who basically basically was telling Aaliyah that she's not only are you rude and arrogant and delusional. She said you're also lucky, and she was saying like that was the names I would use to call you. There's a lot of names I would call you, and she named, and that's what she said she would call her. But she said she's not winning the Royal Rumble. She is, and so this would be like a recurring trend. And then Chauncey Blackheart would come out, basically said the same thing. She's going to win the Royal Rumble, and then we get the return of Sasha Banks. And Sasha Banks comes out and basically, she declared herself for the Rumble, I guess, by saying that, she really didn't talk much. She just said, I'm back and I'm ready to rumble. And basically, I guess, saying she's ready to rumble, saying it signifying that she's, I guess, putting herself in the Royal Rumble's match, and Charlotte would get in her face. I think Sasha would smack her. I'm trying to remember. Sasha would smack her, and then this would start a brawl with everybody fighting. Aaliyah fighting Natalya, Sansi, and Cena. While Charlotte was trying to get herself together, I think Sasha just stood on the outside of the ring, and Sansi got beat up by Cena, but Natalya would beat up Aaliyah for a minute, turn and clothesline Charlotte, putting her down again, and then but Aaliyah would get the best of both. Not only Natalya, but Shayna Baszler as well, and then turn around and get booted by Charlotte with no shoes on. So it was just like her bare feet to the face, and then she would turn and she would like basically to everybody that's on the outside, she would basically go like bye-bye to, and then she realized there's still one person left, which is Sasha Banks. So she turns around and she tries to like basically look like big boot Sasha, but then Sasha catches it and basically like no, it ain't going away. Then she realized she had like instead of having her leg in her hand, in her left hand, she realized she got Sasha's foot. So she's like, oh God, like you got your stinky feet, and Charlotte's like, no, and then she's like, bow. She hits Charlotte, and then she throws Charlotte over the top ropes to end the segment, to be signifying like this is how she might win the Royal Rumble. Then what comes the first match, which is Ricochet and Cesaro versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland, and this, they did like a backstage interview about being able to get revenge on Ricochet for breaking Ridge Holland's nose, and thus they went out for their match. The match itself was okay, and I have a problem with them retreading the whole face mask thing with Ridge Holland, and after Sheamus done it, and I'm guessing okay, he's a protege of Sheamus. They act, look, and talk like each other, but I could do without the face mask thing, but I guess that's the story they're going for. I'm not feeling it, but it was a good match nonetheless. It ended up Ridge Holland and Sheamus end up getting the victory here. Your next match was to me was the best match. I want to say it was the best match of the night. I'm just trying to see. Yeah, that was the best match of the night, which is Naomi versus Sonya Deville. And yes, this was the best. Oddly, the second match of the night was the best match of the night. And this was the like out of all the matches, I actually paid attention to this match the most, because it was the match they finally should have done like weeks ago. They should have done weeks ago, but they finally done it, and this match was actually awesome. For the long wait, it actually made the payoff just that much more great than how long we had to wait. But I'm glad that they actually had a good, decent match, and this match was pretty much a great match. Okay, it went on. We had near falls. We saw great moves from Sonya Deville, who haven't wrestled since last SummerSlam, I think they were saying. But yeah, she hit some great moves. She hit like this weird, like it was good, but it was just weird because not even the announcers knew what to call it, because it was like she went up for a suplex, but then she turned into like a weird sidewalk slam. And maybe because she couldn't really control Naomi's body weight, maybe that's why it looked weird. But it was so awkward movement. Even Naomi kicked out of it. She kicked out of a lot of Naomi's attempts. But in the end, she would get rear view and then a split leg springboard from the top ropes, and to seal the deal with Naomi winning. Naomi would then, make a statement about her winning, trying to basically that she gonna take this momentum to win the Royal Rumble match, and basically do the nah, hey goodbye to Sonya Deville, who like she wanted to say something, but she got mad, so she came back and Sonya Deville did come back and interrupt Naomi's music, and basically went on a tirade rant about how Naomi, Royal Rumble is Naomi's favorite match and all, and this and that and that, and that she has a surprise. She could let Naomi enter the Roman without a surprise, and the surprise she said was just a surprise entrant, and that surprise entrant into the Royal Rumble will be none other than herself, Sonya Deville. But the way she delivered that line was like she was really upset. She really hated it, and you start to see the real hatred for her that she has with Naomi. Then we would get the insane promo, which now is restructured as a podcast, and he and for his first guest on the show, he had Rick Booz, he had Jinder Mahal and Shanky, and it was weird, like he wouldn't let Jinder Mahal like really finish his sentence on anything. He just kept bringing up Johnny Knoxville and whatever he was fixated on, and it was obvious the whole thing was a joke to show how Johnny Knoxville really got underneath Sami Zayn's skin. This would bring out Rick Booz and Shinsuke Nakamura, who would interrupt Sami Zayn, who revealed that during this little promo, he revealed that the next match was going to be a tag team match between Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Booz, and that's what we end up getting. I think Shinsuke before that in the Sami Zayn Insane promo, I think he kicked and beat up on Sami and made him go out the ring, so Sami stayed out there to do guest commentating. Shinsuke Nakamura, it's good to see Shinsuke Nakamura back. Apparently he had like a hand injury that he was like resting up from, so that's why he couldn't really wrestle and defend the title. I fear that they're going to take the title off of Shinsuke Nakamura, obviously, because he was injured. People pretty much forgot that I don't want to say people, but I know I forgot that he was even Intercontinental Champion. Like before I realized it was Shinsuke Nakamura again, I think I found myself asking them, who was the Intercontinental Champion? I know who in the United States champion is, but who's Intercontinental Champion? And I was like, oh yeah, it's Shinsuke. And then, obviously his hand injury, you realize why. But this was an okay match. I wouldn't say it was the best match, but it was an okay match. A little more Rick Booz and Shanky and Jinder. And then Shinsuke obviously tried to protect them in his. And still, I think they said it's not all the way, but it's basically almost 100%. The match was good and ended up being won by Shinsuke and Rick Booz. But Sami Zayn will get involved by pulling Shinsuke off the ring apron, making him hurt himself. But yeah, it seems that basically I would say at the Royal Rumble, or not maybe sometime after the Royal Rumble, Sami Zayn and Shinsuke is on the horizon. And I can see them giving the title to Sami. Now we're here at the part where I told you I wanted to talk about something, and just briefly, real quick. Basically, there was a backstage promo where Biggie and Kofi Kingston was being interviewed, and they fought to have a tag team match with Baron Corbin and Riddick Moss. And apparently, Biggie is now back on Smackdown, and I'm like, why would you? You're really Kofi Kingston, Biggie. Now you're gonna force Big E to be in a tag team with Kofi Kingston instead of letting Kofi Kingston and Big E challenge for their respective brands titles. You're just gonna force them into a tag match because you just need them to be in the tag match. I don't know what's going on with this company. This is making me hate them even much more. I hate that this is one of the reasons why when I tell you my score, just if this is true, this is why I gave this show this score. But the next match ended up being Big E and Kofi versus Baron Corbin and Riddick Moss. The match was good itself. It was another impressive showing for Riddick. It was just all dampened by that news again. And then on top of that, there's also like stage side, those little rumor mills, and Dave Meltzer and all them are reporting that Big E is in fact back as a SmackDown superstar, and if that's the case, if it really is true that he's back, he really is on a permanent basis back on SmackDown, then yeah, Vince McMahon kind of is starting to make me even not want to watch this anymore, or even watch it less than I already do. But yeah, Biggie and Kofi would end up getting a win over Baron Corbin and Red Moss, who all going to be in the Men's Royal Rumble, and all cut promos about how they're going to win. So we get to the main event, which is just a promo between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. It's the final face-off before the Royal Rumble. And, you know, Roman had to do the Kansas City acknowledge him. And Steph's like, well, come on, man, what, you're Patrick Mahomes? He said, come on, man. But I will acknowledge the fact that I played you like a fiddle and got you to get your cousins disqualified, make it our match of the Royal Rumble the way it should be, 1-on-1. And Roman Reigns said that the reason why he did what he did was because it was more so. He said, I couldn't. I say, what were I supposed to do? Is sit back and watch you pin my cousins and embarrass our family, or punch you in the face and watch my cousins lose and get pinned by you, or punch you in the face and they still end up losing and we get the same result. So that's why I did what I did. Basically saying he rather had punched Seth Rollins, causing the DQ loss for his cousins, than to have the embarrassment that his cousins were pinned by Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins said, well, if that's an embarrassment, if it's an embarrassment to be pinned by Seth Rollins, then he said, you embarrass your family the worst. We're bringing up how basically he got pinned at WrestleMania and other matches against Seth Rollins. Seth, Roman tried to play over, say his word on the bridge. There's nothing to talk about in the past, but they do bring up the past, and about how he bring up the past, so to try to get like a rise out of Roman. He ended up getting into where he talked about the Shield and how what he did to the Shield, how he hit him in the back with that chair, and how he did. If he hadn't done what he did, Roman wouldn't be the superstar he is now. And he did that to elevate all three of them. But Roman, it's like he struck a nerve with Roman that got Seth laughing. And basically Seth said, Roman said that he, you took a chair to my back. He said, I tried to forgive you. I really did try to forgive you for what you did. But then he reversed that he could never forgive Seth Rollins, and that he hates Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins said, I know you hate me. Yeah, you're gonna hate me even more after this Saturday when I take that Universal Championship from you. And they ended up getting into a shoving match because Roman felt like Seth wasn't taking it serious. They were just a game to him. And then Seth, he tried to Superman punch, but Seth would duck it, anticipating it, and basically laughed, taunting his way up the ring to end the segment. If it wasn't for that Biggie part, this would have got like a 7. This would have got like a 8.5 at best. But this is I'm gonna give this episode of SmackDown a 6, and that's bad for a 6 out of 10 big ups, because that's bad for a go home show. And I did that because the show was okay. It wasn't too entertaining, but I know they saving everything for the Royal Rumble. But it still was a real bit let down. If this is true that Big E is on SmackDown, that's why I deducted a lot of points for them. Basically putting Big E on SmackDown to be in the tag team with Kofi, because they don't want to put Kofi and Big E back in this. I don't know what they're doing. But anyway, that's all I got. If you enjoyed this video, then hit that button right there in the upper right corner for all of mine. Yeah, you get it. In the upper right corner for all of my wrestling review videos. And if you enjoyed the video so much, and you want to support the channel, I need you to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button and share the video. Do all those great things because it helps the channel, helps me, lets me know I need to bring you more amazing content and continue to bring you more amazing content. And as always, hit any of these videos with more of my amazing content. But they go anywhere? Don't go anywhere, because I got that review for the Royal Rumble coming up next. So stay tuned. Peace out. See you there.